Every day, Americans are exercising their Second Amendment rights by carrying a concealed firearm. At Tundra Tactical, we think that's fantastic. But let's face it, some of you are making choices that are about as questionable as pineapple on pizza, deciding to carry firearms that we generously would call unique choices, and by unique, we're talking about downright bizarre.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
Today, we're diving into the worst concealed carry firearms people are likely to buy in 2024. So sit back, get ready to clear that cover garment, and let's start the show. We start off with old reliable, the Taurus Judge, a snub-nose revolver capable of shooting 45 Colt and 410 shotgun shells. It's just like that friend who brags about being bilingual because they can order a beer in Spanish. Otra cerveza, por favor. One of the few things that I'm old-fashioned about is the crazy notion that words have meaning. When Taurus owners insist that the Judge is a compact revolver perfect for concealed carry, I lose my damn mind. By that logic, a Ford F-350 is a compact car if it somehow fits into a compact car only parking spot. The Taurus Judge is big. It is so big, it's like accidentally welding two guns together and calling it innovation. A Taurus engineer took one look at a regular 45 Colt revolver and thought, you know what this needs? A bit more bulk and inconvenience. It's so bulky that I'm half convinced it's a secret project to build a dumbbell that can actually shoot. The Judge, with a cylinder longer than a Monday morning meeting, could be used as a rolling pin, which actually might be a better application given its tiny 5-round capacity. Now, in the comment section, I can already hear you saying, but Tyler, it shoots 45 Colt and 410 shotgun. Yeah, but the short barrel means it does both of those things very poorly.
This sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks.
Ask any of your chode packing friends, girth is great, but barrel length still matters for the force of impact on a target. The kicker, of course, is with the massive cylinder added to the length of the already short barrel, you're carrying a revolver that's almost the same overall length as a regular 45 Colt revolver. Ay, Dios mío, mi amigo. And finally, I cannot wait to see somebody try to carry this behemoth in an appendix holster. The leather holster for this thing has got to be so massive that it would require the entire hide of a deliciously meaty cow to make. And that's not really concealed if the bulge in your pants looks like a high school kid trying to impress at prom by shoving the entire contents of his sock drawer down his pants. Hey, the best way to impress your prom date is by checking out our sponsors. VaultPro, proudly manufacturing the finest American-made safes, vault doors, safe rooms, and storm shelters. When you guys buy from VaultPro, your safety, security, and privacy is their only priority. VaultPro has never and will never release your information to another party. So click the VaultPro link down in the doobly-doo. And by PWS, who is now offering their advanced BDE suppressors in 4 caliber options: 7.62, 9mm, 22, and 5.56. These suppressors offer revolutionary sound control, all while remaining lightweight and tough. They're easy to clean, easy to install, and easy to maintain, and these suppressors will make shooting even better than it was before. Next up is the Desert Eagle. Now, the Desert Eagle is a key component of the standard midlife crisis pack that also includes a massive Winnebago and a Corvette to tow behind it. If you ever spot a dude at the range in his 50s decked out in a Hawaiian t-shirt, loud enough to cause migraines, waving around a Desert Eagle, it's time to evacuate. He's probably trying to impress the Facebook hotties with his mag dumping skills while barely managing to keep it pointed down range. Oh, by the way, there is absolutely no way he's maneuvering the Shaggin' Wagon RV out of the parking lot without a bumper car fiasco rivaling Paul Walker and Princess Diana's paparazzi fender benders. The Desert Eagle is massive, loud, and it screams, "Witness me!" It's like they designed the dang thing by throwing darts at a things that are unnecessarily large board. Now, to the Desert Eagle's credit, it's about as flexible as a used car salesman's morals at a Tallahassee swingers club with the large array of calibers the pistol can be chambered in, like 50 Action Express, 44 Magnum, 429 DE, and 357 Magnum. But anybody thinking of concealed carrying a Desert Eagle only ever gets it chambered in one of the Magnum calibers, so they can go into their gun store, or perhaps more fittingly, their favorite adult novelty shop with their volume cranked to 11 and ask, where are the Magnums, please?
I got my Magnum condoms, I got my Wad 100s, I'm ready to plow.
The gun store clerk was not impressed, and neither are the Desert Eagle owners' dates when their Magnums slide off their Willy Wonkas like it's on a slip and slide greased with CLP and disappointment. Of course, nobody buys a Desert Eagle to concealed carry. No, of course not. They buy two, because you can't film cool John Wick style shooting scenes with a single Desert Eagle, and who cares if you even hit your target as long as you look cool doing it. However, the real issue here is the gravitational pull of those twin Desert Eagles. It's all fun and games until you're at the Caesar's Palace buffet, loosen up your belt, and suddenly you're the main show on the Vegas Strip, but not in a good way. There you stand, a plate of crab legs and mashed potatoes in one hand, with your pants around the ankles like the odd cousin at Thanksgiving. At least the Las Vegas PD will have another tale to add to their Tourist Gone Wild collection. Naturally, the true Desert Eagle owner will try his favorite pickup line on the arresting officer. Girl, you must be high caliber, cause I'm feeling the recoil in my pants. Whoo, boy, we got the Derringer next. Out of all the firearms in old Western movies, you chose the one tucked into brothel owners' stockings.
Oh my.
I get it, Mrs. Kitty seemed like the full package as a teenager, but there is a reason John Wayne did all the shooting. If your self-defense strategy hinges on your assailant keeling over from a fit of giggles, well then congratulations, the Derringer is your perfect match. With its 2-round capacity, your name better be Deadshot, and I hope you've only got the 2 people attacking you who want you to keep their wives' names out your mouth. The best method for self-defense with the Derringer is the same one old-timey Superman villains used to use. Shoot it twice, miss it twice, throw the gun, and book it. Hopefully your attacker is too distracted by the small hunk of metal flying towards them that they don't see you do your best Chris Angel mind freak impersonation as you try to disappear by jumping into an alleyway dumpster, praying your new raccoon roommates are in a welcoming mood. The Derringer comes in a wide range of calibers, from the almost useless 22 to the "oh my god, I broke my wrist" 4570. This caliber flexibility sounds impressive until you realize it's coming out of a barrel so short you might as well just throw the bullet at your attackers. Reloading a Derringer in a tense situation is like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while riding a mechanical bull. It's a multi-step nightmare that is way more complicated than the math section on the SAT. By the time you've reloaded, the threat has either died of boredom or you're in the afterlife regretting your carry choice and pleading with Jesus to make the angels stop laughing. Now, this pistol does come in a small package, making it the first easily concealable gun on this list, with a barrel shorter than the affection of Jada Pinkett Smith with a backstage pass at a hip-hop festival. Shooting anything approaching reasonable accuracy from a pistol like this is about as likely as the ATF abolishing itself, which they should do.
Hell yeah.
In the end, opting for a Derringer for self-defense is akin to getting a pogo stick for a getaway vehicle. So unless you're planning to duel somebody at 10 paces in the 1800s, leave this thing where it belongs, in the museum you call Granny Kitty's underwear drawer. Ugh. Here we have the Colt Single Action Army, a relic in a modern world. There are some of you in our comment section right now who insist that they still carry this old school revolver as their concealed carry weapon. Now, I can't stop you from carrying a pistol so old its original user manual was written by Shakespeare. To single action or not to single action? That is indeed the question, but using this pistol as your CCW, well, that's the firearms equivalent of hiring an all-Amish pit crew for your NASCAR team. You can do it, but while everyone's revving their engines, your team is out there churning butter. It does have history, though, I'll give it that. It was carried by some of Teddy Roosevelt's Rough Riders, but your grandpa's mustache has history too, and nobody but grandma wants to saddle up and ride that thing. If you want history, do something truly unique and go read a book, or LARP in some old-timey Western gold rush town for tourists. Bonus, your collection of overalls, red long john underwear, and vintage spittoons become tax deductible. Tundra Tactical is not qualified to give tax advice, financial advice, or any advice not dealing with beard maintenance, 224 Valkyrie, or how to jumpstart a Subaru. In fact, never take advice from a YouTuber with band posters up behind them. Discussing the concealability of the Colt single-action army is as dumb as debating the stealthiness of a marching band in a library. Trying to conceal this gun is like showing up to a black tie gala in full clown getup, honking nose included. You're not just out of place, you're embarrassing yourself, and frankly, scaring the kids. Parading around with this antique is not concealed carry. It's a historical exhibit strapped to your waist about as subtle as streaking during a funeral, with just as disappointing results for the audience.
We're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody!
Using the single-action Colt as your CCW is about as practical as showing up in a cocktail dress and track shoes to a drag race. Sure, technically you brought the necessary equipment, but you'd feel a lot better if you brought a tuned-up Honda Civic and Matt Hagen as your co-pilot. In a high-stress situation, you've got to manually cock this thing each and every single time. That slow-firing time turns your self-defense scenario into a live-action Alamo reenactment. Then we've got the reloading process that is slower than a line at the DMV. You've got to eject each spent casing and reload each chamber one by one. You'll need to get an Adderall prescription just to stay focused long enough for the entire reloading process. In the same amount of time it takes you to reload, you could have knitted a sweater or learned a new language. Me llamo Tundra. In the end, if your idea of a reliable CCW involves as much manual labor as a 19th century blacksmith, then the single-action Colt is your dream come true. Just don't be surprised if the bad guys aren't willing to wait around for the history lesson to end. So you've opted to carry a gun that would make even the most desperate pawn shop owner think twice. This is the firearm that makes even the most seasoned gunsmiths weep and question their career choices. The Bertha Thunder, ladies and gentlemen, is a paradox in the world of guns. It's the kind of firearm that at first glance seems like it's a reliable buddy, but turns out to be that friend who borrows money, breaks the toilet, and after they leave, somehow the cat's pregnant. What? But a gun prone to bursting like a sewer pipe at an all-you-can-eat hot wings joint isn't an ideal firearms characteristic. This is a gun that's about as trustworthy as a politician's promise. Its bursting phenomenon sounds like a bad magic trick. And for my next act, I'll turn this solid gun into shrapnel. Not exactly a feature you list in the brochure. The Bertha Thunder is so notorious for its self-destruction that it should have been a 1980s child star in Hollywood with a fittingly long rap sheet. The aluminum frame, likely forged from recycled Pabst Blue Ribbon cans during a corporate team building exercise at a recycling plant, is about as stable as your Aunt Shelley after 3 glasses of spiked eggnog before Christmas dinner. It looks like metal, it feels like metal, but surprise! It's about as durable as a gelatin prophylactic. If the Tin Man from Oz needed a heart, this gun's frame would still be too fragile for that job. And the caliber? Well, the Thunder is chambered in the non-alcoholic beer of the firearms world, 380 ACP. Sure, I wouldn't want to take a round of it to the chest, even though I'm fairly confident a heavy coat and some hockey pads would stop it, but that begs the question, why would you want a gun chambered in the preferred caliber of TV soap opera villains when so many better choices are around? But hey, when the gun might double as an improvised explosive device, who really cares about the caliber? We have to understand the Bertha Thunder is less a tool for self-defense and more like playing a high-stakes game of Jenga. Every time you pull the trigger, it's a mini adventure. Will it shoot or will it gift me some spicy confetti? Not exactly the kind of thrill most of us are looking for. To be fair, if you've had a different experience with your Bertha Thunder, I'm pretty happy for you. Maybe you got one of the good ones made on a Wednesday. For the rest of us, it's a leap of faith every time you pull it out, just like after prom. The world of firearms is indeed about personal preference, but with the Bertha Thunder, it's more like personal risk management. Subscribe.